Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals. They're about to make that very clear. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in your life when you just have to give up on the things that you once thought were good for you, and you have to take a step away. And now's not that time.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to episode 73 of the Walking Blind podcast. This is the show where we like to normalize checking in on the homies. I hope I got that number right. I'm Mike, and that is also Mike. Whew, I've been doing these intros by myself for a couple weeks now, and I just feel a little weird about it.
Is it
sitting
73?
in the middle of the couch? I think it's 73. Is this 73? I'm pretty sure it's 73.
Yeah.
I feel like Sean's episode was 72.
That sounds right.
And I also feel bad because we haven't promoed
Dude,
Sean's
I know.
episode.
Or
And we haven't
Damien's, dude.
promoted Damien's episode.
Well, Damien's apparently doing just fine.
Damien's is doing fine.
Dude.
Yeah. So, well, still, maybe we'll just maybe your timelines and feeds over the next week or so will just be flooded with a bunch of stuff from those episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe
That'll be fun. I can pull it.
Yeah, we can put Mike to work for a little bit because he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be gone," and then that was that.
I honestly was like, this is gonna be nice because on tour, like I'm a lot of long drives. I'll be able to do shit, dude. Nah, man.
I thought that too. I was like, oh, he's gonna have a lot of long drives. He's gonna be able to do stuff. He's gonna be able to like edit.
Nah, it's just
No,
listening to Ozzy's talk, you know, or dozing off, kind of like not really sleeping, just dozing off. But
Jesse has confirmed this is 73, so we're good to go.
Sweet, good job, man.
So we're back. The boys are back in town, and it's been a road, man. It's been an interesting,
Crazy month.
crazy. It's been a crazy month, but we're back now. And where do we start?
Let's start with a mental health check.
Let's do that.
Start with a mental health check.
I forgot that was part of this show.
Let's mental health check. Mental health check is where we like to check in weekly, see where we are mentally. That way we can keep track of, is there anything that we're doing that's helping us, if we're doing well, and if we're not, maybe what are we neglecting to do, or what's going on. Michael, want to go first?
Yeah, I'm in a weird state of mind right now. I got home at like 10, not like 11 last night, and then my dad picked me up from LAX, and today has just been like, hey, let me get done a bunch of the stuff that like I was supposed to do before I left, or like all the things I've been putting off because I have a day off. I have a day to chill, kind of acclimate back to things, and then go back to work tomorrow. But I don't know, like I'm not jet lagged or anything because honestly there was only like an hour time change between here and Costa Rica.
Oh really?
Yeah, so it was like an hour ahead over there.
Oh.
Like the most time traveling I did was like flying. Well, actually, the first flight we ended up on a direct flight. I'm gonna go into that a little bit later. That was a fucking nightmare.
Oh yeah, shit.
But like flying back, like we were an hour ahead in Costa Rica, then we fly to Dallas, which is 2 hours ahead, and then we fly back home, which is that was a weird thing. But I wasn't there long enough to really like mess with my sleep schedule or anything like that.
So Costa Rica is on mountain time?
I guess, yeah.
That's weird.
Like just literally just like 1 hour ahead. So but other than that, I'm good. I got to get back into the groove of things. I had made a promise to Andrew that when I came back from Costa Rica, I was gonna do like my own variation of 75 hard. So that all pretty much starts, I think, tomorrow.
You heard it here.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here.
So we and you know, like just the way that that parts of my body were bouncing around in the pool over the past week, you know, or on that ATV, or
but Mike showed us the party, the crew he was with.
And the crew I was with,
dude, Mike was fine. Mike was the fucking
it was
rock.
fine. I wasn't a thick boy.
Mike
I was a thick boy.
Mike was Chris Hemsworth.
But yeah, you know, I was a chiseled thick boy. Shout out to everybody that was on that trip. That I love fucking everybody there. It was funny. Definitely made me made me question my life a couple times over the week, as far as my tolerance for alcohol goes. But you know, I'm good. I'm good for now. How are you doing,
dude?
You look exhausted.
I know.
And you got home.
I got home. I've been here
3
almost
days
a week. I got home on Sunday.
Sunday night or
no, like Sunday, like at 1, like 1:30 we landed.
But it was Sunday when you left, and then it was Sunday again when you landed.
We left
18 hours later.
We left Brisbane at 11:30 a.m. Sunday, and we landed in LA at 1:30 Sunday.
Oh, sick! You still had a 2-hour flight?
Only 2-hour flight, man.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, somehow in that 2 hours, we managed to travel like 19 hours.
So that flight is Brisbane to Fiji, and then Fiji to LAX.
Yeah. And then we had like this bullshit 4-hour layover in Fiji.
Oh, it's the worst.
Which was like, yeah. What's crazy is had we not had that layover, like let's just say it would have been like a normal hour, whatever, we would have gotten home. We would have left Brisbane at 11:30, and we would have gotten home to LA at like 10:30.
So you'd have gone backwards in time.
Yeah. Like, and would have traveled 19 hours, whatever.
That's wild.
Mentally, I'm pretty good. I'm good, I think. I mean, I'm tired, but that's physical. That's more physical. Mentally, I'm a little exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really gone through a lot of my social media stuff. That kind of started towards the end of my time in Australia. I was just starting getting like too backed up and so I like haven't really done a whole lot of Instagram messaging or anything like that. But aside from that, like I feel good. Like I feel like I'm just like in recovery mode. Like this jet lag is like hitting me so hard. I got so cocky. I got home. We got home Sunday.
Did you sleep on the way back?
Not too much.
Yeah.
A little bit though. A little bit. Not. That was more of like dozing off. I slept on the way there though for sure. Took some sleeping pills and they worked. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't really like dived back into life yet. Even though I've worked like 3 shifts already since I've been back. It's probably not the best idea, but I just feel like I'm on like I still feel like I'm in a haze.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be good tomorrow. Tomorrow will be my. I was waiting for Mike to get back, and then I'll start life too.
That's yeah. Well,
and I will not be doing the 75 power, whatever you guys call it.
No.
75 in me, whatever.
75 in me.
Wait, what is that, by the way? Just
so 75 hard, like the
hard.
original as a like a kind of a whole is that you do 75 days straight, and it's less of like a fitness program, and the way that they say it is it's more of a mental toughness program. So in the original 75 hard, it is you do 2 workouts a day. I think they have to be at least an hour each. One of them has to be outdoors. You have to drink a gallon of water a day. You have to take a progress photo every day. You have to read 10 pages of a book, preferably self-help, a day. And then you have to stick to some sort of diet. Like whatever that diet is, stick to it for 75 days.
Oh, okay. I had a coworker that was doing this.
Yeah, so it's more of like just kind of breaking that cycle of like, oh, I'll do it later, or like, like it's just kind of just a mental toughness thing. I am not trying to take it to that extreme because to me it's not. I don't want to do this as like I'm gonna do 75 days and then be done with it. For me, the 75 days is more of like just making sure I stay consistent.
Getting a new habit.
Yeah. But so for me, like I'm not doing like a strict diet per se, but it's going to be more like, hey, make healthier choices, portion control, right? Like if you go to
portion control, what is that?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that we struggle with.
What does that mean?
Like if I go to like a burger place, right? I'm not going to get a double or a triple. I'm going to get just a fucking regular burger like a normal human being type thing.
Okay.
I'm going to cut out soda on mine. Like that was kind of when I when I did best, cutting out soda.
Nice.
And then for me, since I already read anyways, I don't know if you guys knew that.
I didn't know you could read.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I already read anyway, so that's not really like a challenge to me. So I'm gonna instead I'm having myself at least play 30 minutes of guitar a day.
Oh, cool.
So
That's cooler.
yeah, come back and practice, like, you know, do whatever. So, but yeah, it's kind of just like to kind of reset. And like when I was in Costa Rica, the food was actually like, okay, the Costa Rican food was fire. And like we ate at this restaurant off the resort. Mm-hmm. And that was, I don't know if you saw the pictures I posted of like the tomahawk steak and all that stuff like that. It was fucking incredible. And dude, like that tomahawk was 2.5 pound tomahawk for $45. Wow. Like that's stupid. The surf and turf, like what we did was we all went as a big group and then we all ordered like food and then we ordered like 4 tomahawks for the table. So like each section would just have one. Everybody could kind of cut off of it.
Damn.
And then I ordered the surf and turf, which was like lobster and steak. And that was lobster, steak, mashed potatoes, vegetables, and it was like $35. Like
Damn.
it was insane. So, but then of course like you're eating outdoors, you know, and like it's like you're in the jungle basically. It's like
There's something about eating outside. I feel like in a tropical place where it just feels not as bad.
Yeah.
even though you're eating, you could be eating like whatever, you could be eating like McDonald's, but just the fact that you're like outdoor, and I feel like most of the time, probably where you're at was it like humid and stuff.
yeah, so humid.
Yeah, I'm like sweating it out while I
sweat.
eat. I'm actually losing weight as I'm eating this.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
basically
the
working
workout. But the food on the resort, not that great. Like
Really?
the breakfast buffet was cool, but like
What was it, just like a bunch of fruits and like just a couple meats and
it was
stuff?
super Americanized. So like that resort, I mean, you even like everything was priced in American dollars too. So, but it was like burgers and fries and like a lot of shit that you could just get at home.
Yeah.
But of course, like there were some weird variations that they would make. Like you get a club sandwich and it was like a chicken breast with a slice of ham and then cheese melted over it with bacon.
Okay.
Like, you know, the quesadillas, everything was like mozzarella cheese.
Oh,
So
weird.
like weird like mozzarella cheese quesadillas and stuff like that. Karima, other than the fruits, Karima kind of had a hard time finding things that she could eat because everything was like con carne or like, you know. So, but she liked to get nice and hammered and ask for nachos and then pass out before they got there type deal.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so we had I guess I'll just real quick go through Costa Rica and we can get into the bulk of the Australia tour. We had a debacle. I was like coasting on Easy Street Thursday before we were getting ready to fly out. My dad was going to come pick us up, just shoot us over to Ontario. We were going to fly to Dallas, have a couple hour layover, and then red-eye flight, and then fly to Costa Rica. The flight was at 11:50. I get a message from American Airlines at like 7 that said your flight has been canceled. And then it was like, please hold, we're trying to rebook you, right? And then 5 minutes later it goes, your flight has been canceled, we could not rebook you. And I was like, what the fuck? So now I'm like, okay, wait, hold on, shit. So I call Austin and Austin's like, wait, what do you mean? And so I explained the situation. I guess there was like weather in Dallas, like thunderstorms and stuff.
Dude, yeah, that's the whole thing. They have like crazy hail right now.
So, so they like, and then I'm trying to work with the travel agent. Her fucking phone's off. I can't just switch my flight because the next available flight was Saturday. I wouldn't make it in time. It was this whole mess. And then Austin's like, fuck it. Like I just pulled up the Alaska Airlines. There's a flight out of LAX in like 2 hours. You just got to make it there. I'm going to book you guys the last couple seats. And I was like, don't do that yet because I got to make sure I can get my money back. And then finally the travel agent calls me back and she's like, well, you know, like you can't just switch airlines because then you'll lose your plane ticket as a no-show. And I was like, well, then what do I do? And then she's like, well, there's no other flights. Well, she's like, and I was just like, fucking Austin, book the flights. I'll send you cash, like, whatever. So he goes to book the flights. He's like, just don't worry about it. Like, just get on that fucking plane. Start driving to LAX.
Yeah.
So I call my dad. And I'm like, yo, can you get us like now? And he's like, what? And I was like, we have to go to LAX. He's like, shit, okay. So he's like, I'm on my way. Gets in the car. And like at this point in time, I was coasting. I was like, I'm gonna shower at like 8, and then I just be, So I run in the shower, and I'm like on the phone, like booking the flight while I'm like scrubbing my armpits and shit, dude. And it was like this whole mess. We made it to LAX. Thank God there was like no traffic, no wrecks or anything like that. Made it to LAX, get to the gate, get inside, and then get on this flight. And because we were there were 3 tickets left on the plane. We got 2 of them. One was like on seat 11, and then one was like in seat 37. So I sit Karama down at 11. I'm like, hey,
See you.
yeah, salud. We'll see you later. I go to the back, and there's a guy sitting in my seat with the baby in the middle, and then his wife. I was like, oh, hey, I'm right here. He's like, oh, all right, mate.
Oh, it's such
Fucking Australian dude, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, all right, let's try this out. He sits down and gets the baby in the middle. And then so I sit down next to him, and the baby's like, she's being really chill. She's like super cute little girl. And she's like trying to stand, and then she keeps falling and like grabbing my leg. And he's like, no, don't touch him, don't touch him. And I was like, look, it's fine. Like, I have a 3-year-old at the house, I get it. And he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like it's fine. Children touch me.
Yeah, kids just touch me. It's weird. And then so like he was saying all the like, oh, he's like, oh, well, she's, where are you from? And we were just chit-chatting back and forth. And right before the plane takes off, Karima texts me and she goes, hey, the person next to me didn't show, so there's a seat up here. And I go, okay. And she's like, there's a flight attendant in front of me. I just asked her if you could take the seat, and she said yes, you just have to wait until the fasten seatbelt sign turns off. So I was like, cool. So we took off, and I just made sure it wasn't like the guy next to her bought both seats or anything like that. Right. And the guy was like, the guy near me, the flight attendant was like, yeah, cool, you're good to go up there.
Sick.
So I told the dude, I was like, hey, my girl found a seat up there. And he was funny. He was like, oh, that's awesome, mate. And he's like, how about this? You watch her, and I'll go take a nap.
I'll go see what you go. Yeah. You watch her.
And then I was like, oh, whatever works. And he's like, no. So they ended up getting the row to themselves, which was cool.
That's cool. Everyone won.
That's what I thought. Until I get up to the seat, Karama moves over to the middle, and you know how there's those random walls that have no place for you to put your feet underneath.
Yeah,
them?
It's worse.
It's worse, and that's where I was. So for 5.5 hours, I was just like this.
Hence why those seats were open.
Yeah, it was like this for 5.5 hours. My legs just in order for me to stretch out, stretch my right leg out, I had to turn my whole body. And put both legs in the aisle like this. And just fucking wave my feet. And it was so miserable. And here's Karima snoring. I didn't sleep that entire flight. I just muscled it out, made it to Costa Rica, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And then we get to Costa Rica. Car service arrangements weren't made for us because our flight now changed and we're there earlier. So I had to tell the dude hey, you guys are travel service for later. Is there room on this transport so we can go now? Because we're set for later. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I think so. Okay. And we barely
that's
made
cool.
it. And luckily it was all people from the wedding party. But still, it was and then from there, it's an hour and a half to the resort. So we're on this bus, just riding through Costa Rica, which is cool, man. A ton of motorcycles, a ton of there was right when you get in, there's fucking Taco Bell and Burger King and all these super American fast food places, and then one Gallo Pollo or something like that, and I was like, I want to eat there, but then they just kept going. So
see, I would trust Guatemalan Taco Bell more than I would trust Sydney Taco Bell.
Dude, I was seeing pictures of their menu, and there's all kinds of different shit that they have. Oh, yeah. I was like, what is that? What is that? Where do we get that?
Dude, Montreal Taco Bell has poutine on their menu.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I know I think Japanese McDonald's has musubis and stuff like that, the rice balls and everything. Fuck.
I want shoots.
Fuck. I know. It's gonna be too late. Damn it. And then so we finally get to the resort. Our room's not ready until 3. It's 7:30 a.m.
And you travel all night.
And we've traveled all night. I haven't slept. So I call Austin. He's like, yeah, buddy, put your stuff in our room. Go put our stuff in his room, change into shorts. go down to the pool, and just immediately start drinking. Now, I'm going to be plainly and blatantly honest with you guys. Day one was not a great day because we got hammered by the pool. It was a long day of travel. We finally got our room. We got back to the room that night, and me and Karima got into the biggest fight we've ever gotten to in our entire like relationship.
Of course, in like paradise.
In paradise on night one. But the good thing was we got it out of the way night one.
Okay, good.
A lot of it was just we were tired from traveling. And then she was like, she's not much of a drinker. Like, it only takes a couple drinks and she's fucked up. Well, she was shots, palomas, shots.
She realizes she's like 50 pounds, right? Like
I think she realized it by like the end of the trip. She figured it out, right?
She's like one of those like lap dogs that are like massive. Like they think they're massive, but they're not. It's like, dude, come on.
But also like she was trying to keep up with the girls, and those girls party. Like Alyssa, Megan, what's up, ladies? All them, they all have been doing this since they were, 13. Yeah, they're in the game. Karima just started this like 2 years ago.
Oh, dang.
So like when everybody else is like, yeah, a shot, she's like, oh fuck, a shot. And also, when you're floating in a pool and you're drinking and then you don't realize how much you've drank until you stand up and get out of that pool and like your whole world just collapses on you. That happened to her. And it was just this whole thing. Part of it was my fault because I was like, yo, you need to fucking chill. And she's like, don't tell me to chill. You know what I mean? So I was just like, and like what I meant by that was, hey, chill for now. We'll go
so we can party
reset
later,
and then we'll party later, right? So yeah. So it was, dude. Okay, and then I'll tell you this. I did not, like, I got buzzed. I didn't get shit faced the entire time.
Because you're probably sweating it out.
Yeah, because it was so hot that like every drink or every shot that I would take, it would just come out of me.
Yeah.
So then I would just feel like shitty.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just drank 78 palomas and I feel fine.
More, you just feel more of the sugar than the alcohol.
So, but it was fun though. I had a good time. When we let's say I tracked down some illegal Costa Rican flowers while I was there, and that was a mission and a half too. Like we found the one Jamaican guy on the beach, and weird.
Hey, do you
happen? I got whatever you need, man. Like, yeah, that guy. Okay, cool. But it was cool, man. The wedding portion that we went there for was beautiful.
Oh yeah, the wedding.
Yeah, we went there for Austin and Alyssa. They were renewing their vows. They'd been together 10 years.
That's right.
And it was cool, man. Austin got a custom 3-piece suit, sweat all the way through it. It was so hot. But yeah, I mean, like the food was, like I said, was so Americanized, but the fruits were incredible. Like fresh watermelon, fresh mangoes, guava, like papaya. The papaya was like sweet.
Again,
pineapple.
And you probably feel good. You're like, dude, I'm being so I'm being so healthy right now.
Yeah, and Crime was like, you just ate like the equivalent of 7 mangoes in one sitting. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Give me another paloma. So but yeah, we were after night one, everything got a lot better after that. And we had a good time. Burnt.
Before we move on from this, you want to talk about your the raccoons you got tonight?
Yeah, so one of my favorite things about Costa Rica was I felt like a Disney princess, right? I would walk out onto my back patio and here's the rainforest and here's like monkeys, right? Like there's little monkeys running back and forth, baby monkeys. Like you walk out your hotel room and there's like 13 monkeys like wrestling and playing, like on just like right there. Matter of fact, if I'll look at the timestamp, maybe I'll put a clip right here. Right here. But like there was like I went to the stairs and these monkeys were like running up and down the stairs, and then one of them just peeked its head out through the railing at me, and I was like, hello, friend. Another one, we weren't supposed to do it, but we left some fruit on the porch.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. And then we had a monkey sitting there eating pineapple like, right on the porch.
Cool.
And then one night we happened to be heading back from the beach. We're walking through where they had just had a wedding. They were cleaning up. And there were these fucking adorable, beautiful, majestic raccoons who had unzipped the back of the had unzipped the back of the cart, and they were taking snacks with their little thumbs, their little hands, and just eating these snacks right in front of me. And so Austin went to fist bump one. He got a little fist bump on the nose.
You got a kiss instead?
He got a kiss instead. I held my hand out and got to touch these. And these these raccoons were beautiful. They didn't look like the crackhead meth raccoons.
No, they were so freaking cute. And
even in one of the videos, Austin's going to fist bump it, and I'm like, dude, you're living out someone's dream right now. I was talking about Mike.
My dream.
I was talking about Mike.
My dream is living.
So yeah, and then I
have. I've played with babies. That's what kind of started this whole thing for me. In 2010, December 27th, 2010.
Oh man. So yeah, I did what any good friend would do, and I immediately posted it to Instagram and said, I'm living out Mike of NBR's dream. And I think I also texted to him, which he didn't get. So luckily, Martin was there to show him what he was missing out on.
Martin was like, "Hey, Mike, you're gonna want to see this.
You're gonna want to see this."
I was like,
"I hope you were sitting down."
I was like, what?
And then
wait, what? Where is this? Costa Rica? Is that Austin?
And when he got home, I was texting Mike, Jesse, and I was telling him about the animals, and Mike sends me a video. He's like, I'm really happy for you.
I'm so
see all the hurt.
It's just so cool that you got to do that.
Oh man, that was good.
I sent it didn't send right away, but I sent him like when I saw the video, it's like the picture of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and he's got this like that ridiculous like smile, like angry smile on his face. I was like, that's me.
Fighting the urge.
Yeah. I was so happy for you. Happy for you in Austin. I share that beautiful moment.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Well, I went to Australia. That's cool. Whatever. We played shows.
So let's talk Australia. So what was that? What day did we take you?
We left. So Mike picked Martin and I, and Josh up at Martin's. We left Tuesday night, right? Yeah. So Mike picked us up, dropped us off at like 8:30,
something like that. Yeah.
And dude, like everything went so smoothly. Like the price it cost to check everything in and everything. Like it was like way cheaper than we thought it would be. I mean, still a good amount, but it was a lot cheaper than we thought. Super smooth. Like we went through customs and everything super fast. And it was just like one of those things where we're like, dude, like I keep waiting for something bad to happen. I keep waiting for them to stop us somewhere. Like, and it was nothing. Everything was so smooth. Like the what's it called? The group that brought us out there, they did a pretty good job handling all our visas and stuff. So it was everything was super smooth. And so we leave LA at like I think our flight's at 11:50 p.m. or so Tuesday night. And that flight, I think it's like a 12-hour flight to Fiji. Mm-hmm. And then from Fiji to Adelaide, it was a 6-hour flight. And so we so to save a lot of money, we left Tuesday instead of leaving on Monday. Leaving on Monday would have given us like a full day to acclimate, chill, maybe practice, since we were meeting up with our buddy Christian, who was filling in for bass. But instead, we saved more money and we showed up day of the show. And thankfully, the dudes in Proposal, they had they wanted to work some stuff out in their set, so they rented a space in Adelaide.
Oh, cool.
And they hit us up, and they're like, "Hey, if you guys want to come hang, come through." And so we were like, "Yeah, actually, would it be cool if we like jumped in there after you?" And it ended up like they only had to like work through like one song, and then they had it booked for like I don't know a couple hours.
Are you sure they only had to work through one song, or did you guys just kind of big dick them and you're like, hey, can we use that space? And like, oh yeah, I guess you guys are taking us out on tour.
We're like, out.
No,
they're so freaking rad. They like and they paid for it and everything. So we show up and it was rad because you know we're super tired, but I did sleep. I took a good amount of NyQuil Z, so I traveled. Yeah, I took the pills. So I was just like hanging out. I was gonna watch like Liar Liar, and then I was like,
I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you got to sleep on your flight.
put my feet through. I was basically like a pencil. But
It's so great,
dude. Yeah. So it was cool because we got to jam with Christian. Because otherwise it would have been like night of like, we're like, hey, let's hope this goes well. And so like we got to jam with him and then we went to the show and like we got to stop by our accommodations, which is something MBR is not used to.
Yeah.
We had hotels every night.
I wasn't used to seeing you guys sleeping in beds.
Yeah.
Weird.
It was rad. So we went and we kind of like dropped our stuff off and then like kind of just I basically just like laid down, like stretched my back and legs for a little bit and then we off to the venue. And the first show was Adelaide, Thursday night. We didn't play until about 12:30.
Holy shit. It's a long day.
I would have been tired if that was here.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, and then we knew like going into the next day, it was like more of a drive to Melbourne, there's the next show, that we had to be on the road by 6. So we didn't get back to like our hotel until 2. And yeah, so we were off to like a pretty rough start.
Day one, man. Day one sucks.
Day ones are bad, but you get them done out of the way.
Yeah.
But it was cool, man. Like meeting like Damon, like we got to interview him. I mean, just such a rad dude. He's so sweet. Everyone on that tour was so rad.
Yeah.
Like all the Outsider dudes, all the Proposal dudes.
Which, to be fair, if you guys checked out the episode that we did with Damon, I don't know if we fully mentioned, because I think that was in the beginning before we actually started the show, that he had bird flu when he was on the show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When he was on the show,
I forgot about that.
So he that's kind of why he was home and was able to do the show. But he was like, he had been traveling and he got sick with the bird flu, and then still did the episode with us.
Yeah,
which was fucking rad. Thank you, dude.
I feel like a dickhead now because he would talk about how he's like, man, I'm just trying to get my lungs to where they need to be. And in my mind, I'm like, well, yeah, you just warm up more. Damn, my bad, David, my bad. But like, I mean, they're just so cool. Like, it was just, I just love when like anything. Like we had our little crew with us. We had a shout out to Jonty, who was our tour manager. Mm-hmm. This was kind of like his first time doing it, and he freaking killed it. He did, there's couple things he had to learn on the fly, but he did well. And then we had our sound guy. And he's Jasper. Both of them drove. Jasper probably drove the most and did sound. And they were just like, they're the raddest. They're the raddest like little team we had. And it was just the 7 of us traveling together. But like the dudes in the other bands were always like hitting us up and asking us if we need anything, or like always recommending like spots to check out and stuff, which is really cool. But what I like to remind people for this stuff, for as fun as like touring is,
it's a lot of work.
I'm not on vacation.
Yeah,
like it's not a vacation. So like it's it's like, what can you squeeze on the way to where you have to be? And so we made some pretty good stops, some fun ones. And the shows, let's see, I've made some notes. So like shows of note where we played at a place called the Volta in Ballarat. And that show was probably the best show of the tour as far as like attendance goes. It was hard to tell because like I think on paper we sold it out, but also like immediately after our set it became a nightclub. So
Yeah.
started seeing, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're not here for us, but they're here. And it was just cool. Like the whole staff, the venue staff was really rad to us. By the end of the night, we were like friends with all the bartenders and stuff, and they were all excited that we were like shouting them out. I forget that like tipping isn't a normal thing.
Yeah.
And so we were like saying stuff like "take care of your bartenders" and stuff.
Yeah.
So they were all like excited, like we were, I think, even calling them out and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was a good night to kind of like blow off some steam. I experienced pho that day. I had pho.
Really? So you this was a nice little culture shock tour for you. You ate all the stuff that you never want to eat with me and Martin.
I know. And it was good, and it was good for what it was. I normally would not want to eat pho, but it was rainy and cold.
Perfect.
I felt like I was kind of getting sick. Or I was sick, but I felt like I was like, I don't know. And so that was kind of perfect for that.
Yeah.
And actually, I think after that show is when I started to feel like much better. But yeah, food wise, like I don't think people understand that, like in Australia their food is so good. But so basically, think of any time that you would put hot sauce on anything, they do barbecue sauce or buffalo sauce.
Fair.
Which I'm here for. Totally here for.
All about it.
Dude, breakfast sandwiches, they're brekkie sandwiches, which is like, sausage, egg, cheese, hash brown, and then barbecue sauce.
Huh.
It was.
Now, is this a sweet barbecue sauce? Is this like a vinegary, spicy? Like spicy? Is it?
I think a little more vinegary.
Okay.
A little sweet. I mean, sweet enough. But yeah, that was like, we had we had Hungry Jack's, which is basically Burger King.
Yeah.
And it just tastes different.
Yeah.
It just does. Like the food there, it's not. You can just tell that it's like from local places.
Yeah.
As opposed to like you're like, is this even really lettuce?
Well, that was kind of one of the things that we had pointed out in Costa Rica, that even though like the food was very Americanized on the resort, like pizza or shit like that, or burgers, right? You could still taste like in the pizza, this is fresh tomato sauce, right? There's no sugar and preservatives. Like they made that sauce from fresh tomatoes that day, or at least that week, whatever it was. And then like you could tell like the meat's different, right? Like it doesn't. I don't know how to explain it, but it just, it's not all pumped up with like hormones and like preservatives and stuff like that, so yeah, it's kind of a different game altogether.
Yeah. And everything, like they were saying how in Australia, is it fructose? Is that what it is?
High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. Is illegal. So in all our food.
It's in literally everything.
Literally everything out here.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just felt like I was worried, dude, because I was eating quite a bit out there.
Yeah.
And I came back and weighed myself, and I was like basically kind of the same as when I left. Mm-hmm. And you're okay there, bud?
Yeah, sorry. Fucking dying over here.
I've never seen your body contort in that kind of way.
I was like, this could be bad.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
But yeah, so it was cool. So I don't want to be a downer, and I don't want to talk shit ever, because I felt like on one aspect, Borderline, the group that are Brendan, super nice dude, super rad dude, who booked us out there. I think he did a great job as far as getting us out there, getting all our visas taken care of, arranging transportation, arranging like our guarantees for this were like really good, and so it covered everything. Like we didn't have to pay. Like a lot of times, like you're almost paying like for half of like everything. You're paying for half of transportation. You're paying for your flights. There's always a lot, but I mean, we were taken care of as far as everything on like the booking side was handled. The area that we didn't realize until halfway through the tour was he also was acting as the promoter for these shows.
Oh, okay.
And for anyone who might not understand that, like, it's
That's
like
a lot.
it's a lot.
That's
like,
a lot, especially for that many shows across that wide of a fucking.
It'd be like it's like you have one promoter for the whole West Coast.
Yeah.
Like San Diego to
And
the,
promoting every show for every night.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, like, knowing that it was just him, a lot of these shows that we were finding out, like, they didn't really get the push that they normally would have. We started to hear back from a lot of our friends after the fact, being like, dude, we knew you guys were coming. We didn't know it was tonight. We didn't see anything for this.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
you guys don't follow No Bragging Rights on Instagram?
I know.
You guys don't follow No Bragging Rights on Facebook?
Well, the few that we did, they're like, dude, I saw your thing today, so we came.
Damn. That's, yeah.
So, yeah, and like our buddy, shout out to our boy Christian who filled in for us on bass. He's in a sick band called Burn in Hell. If you've heard them, they're sick. He's also in another really cool band. It's completely different style of music called Mowgli.
Mm-hmm.
And
why have I heard that name before?
They've been around for a long time. He's been in Mowgli, I want to say maybe for the past like 2 years.
But the band has been around for a while?
Yeah, the band's been around for like over 10 years or something like that.
Okay.
And so so Christian is like, he's like in the hardcore scene and stuff. And he had talked to his friends like after our Sydney show. Because Sydney for us, we thought was going to go off. For anyone who doesn't know, Sydney is our highest downloaded like city. When we look at all our online things, like Sydney is the top of it. And so we were kind of like, oh, Sydney's going to go off. And it was okay, but it wasn't like the venues that we were getting booked at, they weren't like we had one show, which was the Battle Rat show, that was probably sold out, and the rest of them were like pretty low attendance, which I'm not complaining about that. I'm not I wouldn't be surprised if no one came.
Yeah.
We've been on a,
You've been gone for so long, and then to just be like, all right, we're playing internationally.
Yeah, and we're back, and we had been here for 10 years. But also it was kind of one of those things where like when we started to promote and we started to reach out and we started having that feedback, people were like, dude, I would have come.
Yeah.
But I either have plans tonight or I think there's one band hit us up like, dude, we had a show tonight. We wouldn't have played if we knew you guys' show was tonight.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't have done that. Like, and so that was kind of cool because it kind of made us feel a little bit better. That's like, oh.
And they didn't book locals on these shows?
They booked locals, but I don't know. Again, like this is one dude.
Yeah.
From one place. I don't know how he knew what. I don't know what his process was for picking some of these bands.
Yeah.
Like the ones, like some like all the locals were good. Like style wise, a couple that were like not like maybe probably wouldn't. I'm all for the mixed bill,
Yeah.
but also like some of them like I don't know.
Some would have done better than others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the locals that were of the scene or knew who we were, like they drew a little bit. They brought some of their crowd, but it was just kind of like there could have been a lot better promotion, and had we known that, we would probably done stuff on our end, but we didn't. We don't like. I've never heard of a booking agent who's also the promoter for every show.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think that. At the very least, the venues themselves would start pushing the shows that they have in their area.
Yeah, and on our last show we played in Brisbane. It was Brisbane, really cool, dude. Shout out to Dylan. I don't know if you'll ever see this, man. Dylan, thank you so much for just taking care of us. He's like the bar manager, venue manager of the back room in Brisbane, and we get there, and he tells us like. He's like, hey man, he's like, dude, I honestly I've only heard you guys like this past week, but I love it. I've been like playing it, I'm stoked on you guys. Like he hooked, like he had us prepared for like this like headlining act that was gonna sell out the venue. He's like, I'm gonna have like we have pizzas, vegan pizzas, whatever you want, we'll send them to you. We have fruit and veggie trays that are here for you. We have tons of water. We have whatever alcohols you guys want. Like just completely taking care of us, and they gave us like the big suite on top of like their venue, which is rad. And so for him, like, you know, we play, and that was kind of one of the better shows. It was a nice show to end on. We had like friends coming out for that one, and you know, but again, it wasn't a sold out show.
Yeah.
And like for hearing his reaction to it, like he was just kind of, like he was very he's like this isn't Brisbane, like this isn't a representation of what this is. Like you guys should have been playing for more people. It was like, I didn't know that it was gonna be this. If I'd known, I would have taken over the show. I would have promoted it. I would have done this. I would have, you know. So, you know, it was nice. It was nice to hear that. You know, and again, like I don't want to sound ungrateful, because for the show, for everyone that did show up, we had a great time.
Yeah.
And we met some really awesome people, had some really good conversations, some tough ones, obviously, but like it was a good experience. You know, every night, you know, you get to hear something different with like the bands we're touring with or the locals. You know, we had one night where it was kind of, we knew it might be a smaller show, and so like the entire tour package was moshing, two-stepping. I even two-stepped. Like,
Oh yeah.
and regretted it afterwards.
Felt it in your knees.
Yeah. You know what's funny, and this is like coming from me, was I saw with Tron, and there was a part, I think it was Outsider, for anyone who hasn't heard them, they're heavy.
Yeah.
So they have some like fun mosh parts, and so there's a part where I was just like, I think I'm gonna mosh, but then I was like, I don't want to be a dickhead and like hit the few, the few people that are here, and
the few people that came.
yeah. And so I was talking with Tron. I was like, hey, do you know how to mosh without like hitting people? And he's like, no.
You got to go out there and do the old hardcore dances.
I know. Yeah. But anyway, so it was fun. Every show was cool. You know, you know, the ones that came out made the shows, and again, the tour package that we were out with, they're every night they were like the ones like giving us energy. You know, they were like probably singing most of the songs, and like moshing pretty much throughout the set. Like, I don't know. It was fun. Trying to think shows of note, or just things of note. Throughout the tour, I don't know if anyone saw the tour videos I was making, but Tron is like perfecting the 1 foot two-step, or the
One big leg.
Basically.
One big.
So that became something fun. Anywhere we'd stop, he would just be like, Mike. I'm like, all right. And then halfway through, I started doing, when we were in Sydney, we went to go to the Sydney Opera House, you know? And so we're out there, and of course, we're like surrounded by like influencers, you know? And so I was watching this like couple, and like the guy was like doing the most, like running like frantically around her, trying to get her like, you know, doing her thing. So then of course I just like, I like to, and Tron saw it too. He's like, I got you. So then that became our thing too. Like he would just like run around me, and like we put in slow motion, and I would do like spins and stuff. So
For those of you guys that are just purely Walking Blind listeners, that's what Mike was doing instead of working on Walking Blind stuff. Just FYI, continue.
Dude. And so, and what's funny about these videos is the first video I did, I was so tired, and I was like, I don't want to edit this down.
Yeah.
So I just sped it up.
Sped it all up.
I sped it all up, and I put it up that way. And I was like, that was the first one. Cool. And then the second.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is like who we are.
Yeah. And then so the next day, you know, I'm like, every time I'm videoing something, I went back to kind of like make more like, you know,
Vlog style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I'd be listening, and I'm like, oh, I can't use that. Can't use that. That word's not okay. Or like, okay, I don't think they want him. I don't think, you know. And
Yeah.
it was just like, you know, it's just like funny stuff. Like, you know, light tower, I'm trying to get a nice pretty picture of it, and someone's like, looks like a giant cock. You know, like, it's like, So
my favorite was the picture that you posted in front of the Sydney Opera House, the 10-year difference. And I saw Mike post that, and So I sent him a message and I said, 10 years, same shorts.
Still fits.
Still fits. And he was like, dude, I think I might have to ditch the windbreaker. And I was like, sometimes change is good, Mike.
Start wearing another jacket.
Yeah, and for the most part, I had been when I traveled. I've been wearing these awesome, comfortable sweat shorts, pockets,
and Crocs.
and Crocs,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Off-road Crocs.
Off-road Crocs. They're the what are they called? Adventure Crocs or whatever.
Adventure Crocs.
Yeah. If you guys don't know me, you guys have no clue who I am.
Thought I knew.
Dude, like,
All I see is Martin's post. There's Crocs in this lake. I was like, oh.
dude, they're so comfy. And they're perfect. They're perfect for traveling. And so I'd been wearing these gray shorts or pants. I've been just wearing my pants. And that was like the one day that I really like went out and was wearing those kind of shorts. And it was for that fucking picture,
Same
dude.
fucking picture.
Those are new shorts, by the way, guys.
They're a little more
not the same.
form-fitting than the last pair that you had.
Yeah, those other ones. The other ones, I had those for Warped Tour.
Mhm.
And it was one of those things where like they're the only shorts I could really ride with unless I had other ones. But they immediately sweat through.
Mm-hmm.
And so like
You immediately get that stain and like the...
thankfully it happened like right away. Like as soon as I woke up, it looked like I pissed myself basically. Just there. And it was kind of embarrassing. But the only like nice thing is that like they were just drenched always.
Mhm.
And so they always looked dark.
Yeah.
And it was just gross and wet.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You're pouring water on your pants.
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't look good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Weird. But
Yeah, so what was I gonna say? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. Like, kangaroos out in the wild is a conspiracy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't see them.
what was your favorite thing that you ate?
So, I mean, oddly, surprise, I stopped at a sushi spot. It was I didn't bring anything. That's like one of those
I
things.
didn't
Like,
bring anything either.
yeah, dude. For me, I'm like, dude, I had a backpack
Yeah. I
with stuff in
traveled
it.
really light.
I was I literally had everything in my backpack. Just because I thought like we're gonna have to like be checking stuff in, and then I show up and Martin has his bag and his backpack and stuff. I was like, what the fuck, you
Well,
guys?
wait. You know you can bring a bag and then a personal item on the plane.
Yeah.
So you
I
can-
thought I thought one of my personal items had to be like Martin's kick pedal or something.
Oh, gotcha.
So I went prepared to be a full-on G, full team player. And Martin has like his backpack and his little duffel bag with all his stuff in it. I was just like, what are you on there? Like multiple
How long
sweaters,
did
and multiple jeans,
he
a
had
third pair of shoes.
He had a ton of shoes.
He did. He really did.
We had a conversation about which shoes he was gonna bring before he packed. How long did that duffel bag last with the merch?
It lasted.
It did.
Yeah.
The whole trip.
Yeah.
I was a little worried,
Me too.
especially because you didn't have a shoulder strap.
Dude, that was another thing. Dude, shout out to Ollie for printing our merch. So based on the venue sizes,
You guys printed a lot of merch, huh?
yeah, I mean, dude, again, why like I don't want to talk shit, but like based on the venue sizes of the places we're playing, and based on how much we were getting paid, we just assume because just quick for anyone who doesn't understand, like when you book a tour, the booking agent books these venues, and the way he books the venues is he gets someone buys the night basically. So a promoter, and there's multiple promoters for the show. It's just whoever thinks they can do the most for the show.
Right.
And so and it's, a lot of it is agreed on. Like, hey, this band is coming in, and this is how much they're asking for. And then promoters will either like kind of like bid on it, or they'll be like, hey, we can do it for this, and that's how it usually works, because promoters that are attached to certain venues or certain areas, they know their area. They know how to promote in their area.
Mm-hmm.
And so a promoter that takes on these shows are usually on the hook for this money.
Yeah.
You know? And so...
Which is wild that we mentioned earlier that this guy was the promoter for every one of the shows. That's why it's such a kind of like it's such an oddball scenario.
Yeah.
To be in.
It's like not a thing in the United States.
Yeah.
And so so yeah, so we you know, we were like, dude, we're getting paid this much amount of money. Like the promoters at these shows must have confidence in these shows.
Yeah.
Especially the size of these venues. So yeah, so we got merch accordingly.
How did those merch sales do?
Dude. Like it felt like 2011 for us. Like it felt like those days where yeah, it was rough, man. Thankfully, Ollie, the guy who did our merch, he basically, like, we're not on the hook. He took it back. He's gonna sell it through his online store.
Okay.
So we don't owe what wasn't sold. We would have had to eat that money. Like,
yeah. And that's a lot.
Yeah, and also, or we'd have to take them back with us, which is like we don't have room. Yeah. Like, and so, you know, but you know, again, at the end of the day, like it was a success. Like we met a lot of really cool people. We got to see some old friends. Some old friends came out, which is really rad.
You got to shake the dust off like that. You were legit on tour again.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's just wild. That was Australia, first one.
So I was I thought about this, but I thought about it too late because I was kind of thinking. I had a weird in my delirium of being awake for a long time, had like a weird existential crisis for like an hour. It's like what do I do if and when NBR starts touring more often? Like how do we keep this show going when you guys are on tour, right? I was like, because obviously Mike's not going to edit videos.
Give me a break. My first one, man. My first one. It was international, dude.
I think we fucked up because what we should have done is at least like when you for your first night and then like maybe like after the first week or so or like the first few days, like we should have been doing mental health checks with you.
Oh,
yeah. On the road. Right. So that kind of like the evolution of things would be instead of us sitting down to do a mental health check, we get on the video call and basically like I'm checking in on you guys to see how you guys are doing.
Dude.
And I was like, fuck, like we should have thought about that. I was like on the plane like this, like fucking we should have really thought about this shit.
Forced to confront a lot of things in your life when you're in a plane.
Yeah, when you're on a plane and you can't move your legs at all.
Dude, also sorry, there's like a really random thing. So on the way back, I'm watching Tron watch Meet Joe Black.
The gorilla movie with
No, I know what you're talking about. It's not that one. No,
wasn't that a gorilla movie with like Brad Pitt or some shit?
No, it is Brad Pitt, but he's death.
Wait, which one am I thinking of?
You're thinking of. I know what you're thinking of, but it's not that one. I know what you're thinking of.
I feel like I've seen both of those movies. Hold on.
There's no way they're both Meet Joe Black and they both have Brad Pitt in them. But it's Meet Joe. It has Brad Pitt.
Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young. Who's in that? Is Brad Pitt even in that?
It's not Brad Pitt. It's Bill Paxton.
But Meet Joe Black. It's yeah. So I don't know her name, but I love her. The love interest in Meet Joe Black. Mm-hmm. She was in Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah. Love that movie.
Yeah. So I'm just like I'm watching Tron watch this movie next to me, and I'm like just listening to music or whatever. And so one of my big pet peeves is like, also I saw that you can't do subtitles. So if I can't hear, I I need subtitles.
Yeah, you guys have all fucked me up with that. Now I can't watch anything without subtitles. I hate it.
You're welcome. Mister, I love to read so much.
Just sometimes I want a break. Okay.
Yeah. But so all this to say is like, I was like, I kind of want to watch this. It looks. I'm terrified right now. Maybe this will calm my nerves.
And you, oh yeah, right.
So I put it on, and for anyone who doesn't know, Meet Joe Black. I don't care if this is spoilers. This movie's from like the
movie's so
90s.
old.
It's like from the 90s, basically. So this is the premise of the movie. This guy and this girl meet at the beginning of the movie, Brad Pitt and this girl, and they hit it off right away. He dies immediately, and death takes his place. And death is coming for Anthony Hopkins, who's that girl's dad. And so death tells Anthony Hopkins, I will prolong your life if you entertain me in this world. If you let me experience life. And so Anthony Hopkins is like, sure. So death goes on to basically fuck Anthony Hopkins' daughter. That's like the whole premise of this movie. Is so death could bang this girl. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he still takes Anthony Hopkins, but he returns the dude back to life. But it's like, how's that conversation go? She's like, "Hi, oh shit, you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not who I was." It's like, no, that was death.
No, that was death.
That was death who banged you.
Yeah.
And he's gone now. He took your dad. That's what this movie is.
Took your dad.
He took your dad. It's like. I was watching it and I was laughing kind of because there's a part where Brad Pitt as death still, he's enjoying these last moments, and mind you, he's already banged this girl, so he's I'm ready to move on now too, and it's it's so ridiculous, dude. We should watch this movie and then just keep in mind that this is supposedly death, and all he's trying to do is get in this girl's pants. While he's also hanging out with her dad. Yeah, dude, it's so fucked up, dude. It's so ridiculous. I was when it showed him crying, shows Brad Pitt crying because he's about to he's leaving it behind. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you sad? You're deaf, dude. You're fine. Apparently, you can do this whenever you want. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. We should. Or just watch it on your own.
Just watch it on your own,
dude. It's so funny. I was like, huh. I was like, that's a '90s movie for sure.
I watched this weird sci-fi movie called Vesper. Yeah, never heard of it before. Yeah, never heard about this before. Never seen any of the trailers or anything like that. And then I was just scrolling through, and visually it was so, as stunning as it could be on your iPhone, which I'm kind of upset that airlines no longer have those drop down TVs or the TVs in the seats in front of you. They're just connect to our Wi-Fi and fucking look up shit yourself.
Yeah, or that they I don't know if I'm remembering this incorrectly. But one of the only good things about flying on long flights when I was a kid was that airlines had movies that were in theaters still.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
New releases.
We didn't have that. We didn't have new releases. I was I had a list of movies. I was like, oh, kind of want to see everything always everywhere, whatever that movie. Yeah, nothing, not there. Instead, I watched Death bang some girl. Bang the daughter of a guy he's about to kill. I know, man. It felt so weird. I felt so weird watching it. I was like, why is this movie's making me feel uncomfortable? Because I feel like I'm witnessing something
He was killing it, dude.
He was literally killing it, dude.
He was killing it, dude.
He's so awkward.
He's so awkward.
Oh, dude. And then Anthony said, he's explaining it to someone. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't get it. He's like this really charismatic guy. And then Brad Pitt becomes death, but he's basically a person with autism. It's
shit.
Oh, dude, watch Meet Joe Black.
Yeah, watch Mighty Joe Young when you get the chance.
I promise, watching my Joe Young, you will probably walk away feeling somewhat good about
Somewhat
what you just
wholesome.
saw. Yeah. Whereas the other one, I'm like, I think I just witnessed like rape.
We should watch both movies back to back and see which one is better.
I'm gonna go ahead and I already know which one's better. Dude, that girl though, I don't know her name. She is
Claire. It's Claire Forlani.
dude.
She was
Thank
in
you.
Meet Joe Black. She was in The Medallion with Jackie Chan. She was in The Rock.
She was in The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Rock, like
Yeah.
welcome to The Rock. Oh, okay.
The Rock. Boys and Girls, Mallrats, Precious Cargo.
I saw Boys and Girls was bad. That's with Freddie Prinze Jr., huh?
Yeah. You know what another movie I watched kind of like in that same I watched Varsity Blues.
Oh, sick.
Actually holds up, dude. Still a pretty good movie.
Dude, I love that movie.
A lot more nudity than I remember.
Really?
It was on my cell phone, and Karima just happened to wake up and look over. She's like, and I was like,
It's about football.
it's a football movie. It's a football movie. It's a Texas football movie.
Yeah. Go to sleep.
Yeah. But she wasn't even upset that there was like titties on the screen. She was like, the lady behind us can see right through the seats onto your phone. And I was like, well.
Actually, yeah, there's like an uncomfortable sex scene and like the fucking Joe whatever. Yeah. And so I just remember being like, I was like, you know what? Whatever, this movie's fucking weird anyway. I was like, I get like, at first I was like, I could feel eyeballs.
Yeah.
You know, watching my screen, I was like, whatever, it's Brad Pitt.
I just felt like if anybody was going to give me shit, I'd be like, this was on the American Airlines list.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It
What
was
can I
on the
say?
fly list.
Yeah. Apparently it was acceptable.
in the brochure.
But
So we gotta. There's one more thing I gotta bring up. Mike had his. I'm a little upset that he had to go to Australia to do it. We had his first experience with Filipino barbecue.
hold on. I'm upset. I'm upset. So we were in Wollongong, and Martin and I were walking to get something to eat before the show. And so there's like this like pop-up like outdoor market thing. And so we're looking at spots and like we see this barbecue thing, and then Martin's like, "Oh, dude, Filipino barbecue." And I was just like, how did you gather that from like everything? He's like, "Well, there's the flag right there."
Yeah, this is this
And then there's this, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And so, yeah, in that moment, I realized, like, I didn't know this was a thing. And so we got our, what is it called?
The
Like
skewers.
Skewers, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and with rice. And then he's like, do you want to put vinegar on it? I was like, I guess.
That one.
Yeah, I was like, Martin, you doing it? Martin's like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, me too. Me too, of course. But, dude, that might have been that was probably one of the sneakiest, best things I had on the tour. And Mike's never taken me there. Neither is Martin. I've known Martin for years. Neither I didn't even know this was a thing.
For what it's worth, we don't stray very far away from American food whenever we eat with you. Like sushi is usually like pushing it a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah, the sushi spot I went to. So I've never really done a like the conveyor one.
Mm.
Like I've been to places that had it, but like when I went, we were sitting at a table, so we didn't get to experience that.
Oh, gotcha.
So I've been to one, but I've never done it. And so, dude, and it was like the last, like our last like full day, I guess, in Australia. As far as like, it was on our way to Brisbane, and we stopped for lunch, and it's like really cool ocean town. I forget the name of it. Like I think this is probably like totally wrong, not even close at all. I think it was Gold Coast area. Probably not. Aussies are like, it's not even nowhere near Brisbane. And so I had sushi, and I went alone, just because I was like on such a mission. So I was like, I need sushi, and it was so freaking good. And I ate, of course, like too much, and so, but it came out to like all my plates put together. It came out to $25 American.
Dude, your money just goes so much further. So much further out. Like,
I know it. Took advantage. That's the other thing too. I was just like afraid to look at my bank account.
yeah.
I was like, oh,
Same.
okay.
Same. Like I came back with money. I was like,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know what's funny? One of my I just complete haze like leading up to leaving and everything with the chain shows or the chain show and everything. That like I forgot that I got paid when I was out there. I was like sick. I was like this is nice. This is you know what? Yeah, I will get the meal.
I will take that soda, and not in a water cup.
Yeah. Go ahead and supersize it. One of the cool and bummer things was, just kind of the theme of like just no one knew we were coming. We stopped this really cool coffee shop, and like we go in there and all the dudes are all tatted up and stuff. And one of the guys like, oh, he's like, I love your hoodie, to Martin. Martin's wearing a Power Trip hoodie, and Martin's like, oh yeah, dude, great band. So as soon as he starts talking, then the guy's like, oh, we're American, so are you guys a band? And we're like, yeah, we're called No Bragging Rights. He's like, what the heck? You guys No Bragging Rights? You guys play here? We're like, yeah, we played at the so-and-so. He's like, what? And like, talked to his buddy. They're like, we didn't hear about the show. So the guys at the coffee shop knew about us,
Fuck.
but not about the show.
That's got to be such a like. Yeah, like it's cool that they know who you guys are, but it's such a bummer that they're like right here and nobody knew that the show was going on.
Fuck. It's like it's been such a weird, such a weird feeling because it's like I feel like I've been doing this long enough to like, when I think of these shows, like I'm happy about them. Like I had a good time. I remember who I talked to. I remember all the little things were going on while we were playing, and it's good. It's like like that little extra step of like,
this could have been it could have been massive.
Mm-hmm. But again, dude, we're just happy that we got to come out. Like you said, this is like our first experience of tour. I already know what I would do differently.
How did you feel like as far as your body and like your voice and everything like that? Like, did you feel like right away you were pretty much in the pocket, or did it take some time to?
Nope. No, did not feel in the pocket. No. I had, so one of those things where this sounds so corny, but like I started to finally remember like how I move on stage. I know it sounds corny, but like I started to like finally like feel things. Like I started to just do things, not even thinking about them anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this is what I do for this song.
The punch goes here, the stomp goes here, the kick goes here. We take a knee here.
Yep.
We take a knee here. We continue on the knee
we
here.
take a rest. we take a confident rest here. You know.
This is where we turn to Martin's drum set and
dude,
gag a little bit.
Dude, and actually, this is like not even. I'm not a cop out. I promise. There was for the first two shows, I was so tired that, especially the first show, I went to like 2-step and stomp, and it was not happening. It just was not happening. I'd like to see this video because I know exactly where it was, and I know my body was like, nope. I don't know. It's like we know what you want to do here. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, and so like I remember, so like halfway through it, I started to just like feel like myself on stage, which is something I guess I haven't had since we've been back. And so I started to feel comfortable. And then vocally, man, there's just like, it's just weird, dude. Like I'm so used to being like, oh yeah, like this is the warm up I got to do, and I do this, and I'm straight. And then I'm like, oh,
it was not that.
I'm like, weird. That part is normally there when I press. I was like, that's so weird. That didn't come out tonight. And so then like I had to like really go back into like the last back end of the days. I was having to jump rope.
Yeah.
Like get back because I brought it with me.
Sick.
But I hadn't been doing it because like I was just so tired. Like physically, like my hips and like legs were killing me.
You know that you can just do the motion without the jump rope.
I know, but I need the jump rope.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
It's weighted.
It's weighted.
It makes me jump higher, run faster, kick higher. And so I started to do that towards the end, and then I started to like get parts of my voice back that were missing. I've never had parts of my voice missing longer than like 2 shows kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there was just parts that just weren't there.
Shit.
Yeah. So
Was it screams or notes?
notes.
Really?
Yeah. And so another weird thing is like I remembered how to go low without hurting myself vocally, which is like I could figure that out when I was recording, and it's like and then I figured like, oh, that's what it is. Like that's where I can go and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know a lot. Yeah, I definitely know because we haven't announced it, but we have stuff coming up, and so my preparation is gonna be a little different, and how I'm gonna do things like leading up. My warm will be different.
Yeah. That and those things that you guys have coming up are part of what made me have that little existential crisis of like.
You're like, oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, that's a that's a lot of time.
that's a real time. Yeah, the MBR guys, little inside. We're talking, kind of figuring out what the band is going to look like moving forward. For anyone who doesn't know, like Daniel, he wasn't at these shows. Like he's got a new job. He's living out in Pennsylvania, and he's got a little boy, and he wants to do all this stuff,
Right.
but he just can't. And that's what his life is right now. And so it was kind of it was nice to kind of talk with him, and a big reason why we were even able to do any of these shows was Daniel being like, I don't want to hold you guys back.
Yeah.
If you guys find fill-ins, play these shows. Like you guys get these songs out. Like
yeah. He's like, good luck finding somebody that plays as well as I do, though, bitch.
yeah. Like someone who can riff like this. It's funny, even Daniel, and I think this must have felt kind of maybe good or maybe not for Josh having learned all Daniel's stuff. Daniel was like, he's like, dude, I promise you can play these songs better than I can right now, man. He's like, I haven't touched the guitar, and he's like, and also, dude, I don't know what we were thinking on that EP.
The EP's wild.
EP is fucking wild, man.
The EP's wild. I'm like, yeah,
it's wild. So, but what was kind of cool again, like so with us having hotels every night, like something we've never had that. We've never been like on a tour where we had hotels every night, places to stay. Sometimes it'd be like a hotel or a hostel, but Tron and Martin were like riffing, and they were recording ideas, and to the point where like I don't know if there's something. I'm gonna pause here because we can probably edit. Maybe we can edit this. I don't think it's a big deal. But like we want to release 2 new songs for this upcoming thing, okay. And we want one of them.
Is one gonna be that old one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Although, actually, we might release that too. It
might be a good idea if that's the direction that things are.
Yeah.
Gonna kind of go in.
Yeah, I think we will release that too. I don't know if that'll be with these ones, but we want to have for anyone who's been to our shows in the last like 10 years, we either open with Not My Salvation, or we open with Appraisals and Omissions, and like which is fine. But like we were kind of talking like we need an opener.
Yeah.
You
need a thick chonky opener.
Yeah, and so and this came about because we've been having fun playing at Advent of Change, the opening track for Cycles, and so it was kind of like, oh, this is like fun.
Yeah,
but it's like, but we want something, and this that feels like this, but something else. So like, what was cool is like Tron and Martin were writing with that, like being like, how would we extend this song?
Yeah.
How would we extend Advent of Change? And so that's kind of like the thinking. And so we have something. It's pretty sick. So we'll see. And so Daniel, he's all that to mention with Daniel is moving forward is I think we're gonna have the lineup that tours, And then with Daniel, he's gonna be
He's still gonna write and record
Still write.
records and everything like that,
Mhm.
but with the intention of a majority of the touring and road work is gonna be done by somebody else.
yeah. And I really like, man. I got to you get to really know someone, so we
Yeah.
had an opportunity to really get to know Josh, and Josh is rad, man. I love him.
He's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, he works hard. He brings a new like a new like youth and optimism into our lives, but he's good. He kills it on stage, and it was nice. Like there was we had conversations with him, and there was things that he was like noticing for himself to grow within what we were doing, and so like I'm excited. Like I feel confident. Like I don't think like especially with the lineup we'll have with Sean too. I'm hoping Sean killed it. Like
Sean fucking killed it.
Like I'm hoping that becomes what the lineup is for shows, and I'm getting to the point where I feel like you're not gonna be losing. Like Daniel is like he's MBR, and there's a lot of things that he does that are just like you don't realize how much vocal stuff he does. Like for myself, I was like shit.
Or even the shit that he's doing in between songs.
Yeah.
Like that, just the noise, right?
Yeah.
But it's so cool.
It's
Like
so
the shit
cool.
he does is so cool.
Yeah, and what's rad is like Josh is like really Josh and Tron are both like really they're trying to fill those gaps, and I feel like moving forward as we're getting more shows back, getting back into it. Like I really do feel like we're putting out a good product, and it's not just like us just trying to salvage something. I feel like it's like we're in a spot where we're gonna be, hopefully better versions of ourselves.
And I think it would be nice to see NVR lean more into the hardcore part of the melodic hardcore.
Yeah.
Label that you guys essentially have.
Mm-hmm. And even Daniel and Tron, they're like, dude, we were two dudes that were just like left to our devices, man. Like,
and what I'm curious about, and this is probably a better question for Tron. Why didn't Tron do Daniel's parts and then just have Josh come in and learn?
I know.
Stuff? Was he just like, nah, fuck that? You can do it.
I mean, and it's funny too, because like you kind of think of like at some point I hope at some point Daniel comes back and is able to things have to change on his end for certain things, but it's looking like maybe at some point it will, and he'll be able to do things. And it was just funny hearing Tron, because Tron's for anyone who doesn't know, I think Tron would make a great social worker.
Yeah,
just based on his outlook for things and how he's so team minded.
Yeah.
And so when we were talking, he's
it's
like,
Anthony from high school, dude.
What's that?
It's Anthony from high school, dude.
Yeah. But he was just like, we were like talking, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, when you come back, we can throw Josh, on bass if he's the one he's putting in a little bit more time. And then Tron's like, dude, fuck it. He's like, I'd probably go on bass.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd probably go on bass. But it was just, I don't know. I think that's just cool. I feel like everyone's attitude is very much like making this work, And for me, my it's crazy. It's crazy. I never wanted for MBR to be like this, like weird, like these are
amalgam of dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like now, like
this is the No Bragging Rights Collective.
Yeah. But like the way I see it is like, when like for the Chain Reaction show that night, No Bragging Rights was still Daniel at home, but not there. But that night it was Josh on guitar.
Yeah.
As member of No Bragging Rights, Sean on bass, member of No Bragging Rights. Like I feel that like even on this Australian tour, like, I tried not to address them as fill-ins, even for Christian, who came out, and it's like, I don't know, I just feel like if you show up and you play, like you're part of it. Yeah.
And I think that like NBR, in a sense, has become bigger than just like 5 dudes that are homies that play music together, right? Like the message and like the outreach and all of that. Like basically, like this is your social work, if you will, right? So in that sense, it's bigger than just like, hey, can all 5 of us play this show, right? Like it's more than that now. So at that point, you have to really consider like the message needs to continue, and then like realistically at the heart of it, like you and Martin have been like the backbone pieces of this band, for as long as I can remember. So as long as it's you two that are playing, hey, Martin might not be able to make a show, Steve might fill in, somebody else might fill in, whatever that is, but that's still like the core of everything is still like, it's still a pretty tight-knit group of people that are doing it, It'd be different if it was like a different dude every week.
Yeah. But I think we're gonna have a pretty consistent like tour lineup or show lineup,
Yeah.
And I was even, when you're in a band for long periods of time and you think about crazy thoughts and stuff, I was like even thinking for myself, like I'm not the only one who's experienced loss. Yeah. I'm not the only one who's passionate about something like this. I'm probably the most vocal at the show, but like I know there's other people who have that. And so like for myself, I was thinking like if something happened and there was like this really cool offer and I couldn't do it and there was someone who could do what I do and is passionate with the message, but in their own way, I would think that was cool too. Like, I don't know. I'd be open to it. I don't know how.
That'd be weird.
Yeah. I mean, but
I'm just going to tell you straightforward. Like it's very hard to put somebody else up front.
Yeah.
But like if it was someone who could do the songs and then like someone who like, maybe it's someone who's had for the first hand experience, like he is what my dad went through.
Yeah.
And then he talks about how he related. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think it could still, I still think like the songs could carry. And I feel like people, like there are people who have lived some of these songs more than I have. You know what I mean? Like some songs I'm writing on like close experience, again, like my dad, like that. And that's why, like, at first, why I even started talking about cycles, because I don't want people to think that my dad was like, and they see him and he's like this gentle dude. That dude used to.
I don't say this just to like, I missed you all, but like, I don't think that there are a lot of people that sound the way you do. Like, you have a very like different original sounding voice. You know what I mean? Like,
well, thank you.
People will be able to sing the songs, but it wouldn't sound like No Bragging Rights. Just because your singing voice isn't like, you're not singing like fucking Alisana, you're not singing like, like that generic sounding voice that you hear in this genre of music. So I think it would be tough, and I think a lot of those people who come out to these shows made a connection with you, right? Like they made a connection with you and your writing and your shows and your music, and then want to come out and talk to you. Like it would be tough to like, somebody else could fill in and play these shows. Like somebody might be able to hit like the same range that you do. And then afterwards, like all those talks, like that's not going to be the same. Like I don't want to talk to the dude that's filling in on the record. Like, what the fuck? So I think that would be a little, I don't know. I think that would be hard. It'd be hard.
So you're saying that I have to play all these MBR shows?
You have to play all these MBR shows. I think that's a given. I think if you're not there, this might not work.
Fair. All right. Well,
hey Jesse, we need to pull all the receipts for all the money we put into this equipment that we bought for this place because Mike's gonna be gone.
I do like that idea of like the check-ins.
Yeah.
Which I mean, our setup looks good, dude. We can do the Zoom.
It looks good.
Or the Riverside thing.
Yeah, I still gotta fuck with some settings though, because I had some issues with Sean's episode. I don't know if you noticed. The reason we're so small on the screen is our audio is a little off.
Oh really?
Yeah. I synced up Sean's audio, awesome, but ours was like kinda just not quite there. I just could not get it right.
That's funny. Right. I was listening. I listened to that episode. I didn't really watch it.
It sounded great. Sonically, it sounded great. But if you watch the video, if you look in that little corner where we're at, we're like...
That's funny. I didn't even notice that we were. I didn't even notice that.
That's because you weren't doing the edit. It's fine.
I didn't notice it since I started watching it, but you did say like a lot.
I say like a lot. A lot.
I do.
Like it'd be a dangerous drinking game.
I do. That I say
Yeah.
a lot.
I also
I
I also realized. Well, one, I do it when I'm trying to find my like train of thought.
Yeah.
I also realized when I do the intro by myself and I'm alone in this room, I'm breathing extra hard because I'm talking real fast to try and make up for the fact that nobody else is here with me. So I'm like, "What's up, guys?"
You're all tired afterwards.
Like I feel like I have to get this intro done in 30 seconds so nobody gets off of the show.
Dude, that's what
I don't know. It's weird. Well, we're back.
We're back.
So how did the cards do?
So that's a funny story.
You left them.
Yes. but wait. So so the night of that we're packing, I put them in they're the first thing I put in my backpack. And then like got up to pee and I was like, you know what? I'm going to split these up. I'm going to put them in 2 bags. And so just so it'll sit better because it's like a thick brick.
Yeah.
And so I took them out. I put them on my bed. Went to the kitchen to get the bag. Didn't get the bag. Got distracted doing something else. Came back. Didn't put them in my backpack. Because when you I think before we even left, you're like, you have the cards? And I was like, yeah.
With so much confidence, Mike looked me in my eye and goes, "Yeah, I got him."
Yeah, because there's the first thing that I packed. First thing that I officially packed. They're right on the bottom. And then and so we get to the first show and I'm like, dude, ask the guys. I was just like
Thank God we didn't print 500 of them.
I know. But hold on. So I realized very quickly, I'm like, I left the fucking cards at my house. And so so then I find the picture of the thing you had sent, and I had Jonty or TM printed out. So I had it on a table every show.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at dates. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, you know what? We have 2 days off, and then we're in Canberra. And I was like, it'll get there. It'll get there on our 3rd show, I think it is, or 4th show. And so yeah, it would have gotten there on our 4th show, like halfway through the tour, but whatever. And so I'm like talking to my parents, like, hey, if you guys find them, find out if it'll get sent, if they can make it to Canberra on the 18th. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, then just forget it. And so my dad went, and he's like, hey, they're gonna send it, and they'll get to the venue. It'll get to the 18th. I was like, sick. So day of the show, get to Canberra, they're not there. And so since then, actually, literally today too, I messaged Jonty to be like, hey man, can you keep like checking and see if they've come in? And so if they come in and they have them, then I'll probably just send them to Christian and have Christian either send them back or like put them out of his shows, because he does merch for shows.
Okay.
So yeah. So the cards were there in spirit. The resources were there. But yeah. Dude, I was so mad.
What am I, a fucking noob?
I was so fucking mad. I know. I'm still getting back to this, guys.
Act like you've been here before, Mike.
I know.
I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, like, it's more about the message than the painstaking hard work. It's cards.
I got thought about this or anything.
Yeah. Here I am thinking like, oh man, it's great. It's great. Even if we help one person with these cards.
I mean, we did for sure. There are people taking scans, like, checking it out.
Well, on that note, Walking Blind's been fun. Yeah, we're back. We're back. Make sure you guys check out the last couple episodes. We haven't seen Jesse in like 3 weeks, basically.
I know.
Sharing the backline got a third person now too.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been out of the loop with all that stuff.
Yeah. We gotta sit down with O'Brien. We gotta get him on the episode.
Oh yeah. And get on their shit. Too.
Yeah, we need to get up there too. Yeah, it should be a lot less crazy, so we'll be able to kind of get back to basics on things. So make sure you guys check out at Walking Blind Pod, walkingblindpod.com, walkingblindpodcast.com, at Walking Blind Pod everywhere, walkingblindpod@gmail.com. A lot of Walking Blind Pod stuff. A lot of podcast stuff that Mike's.
And
talk about it.
And go to click in the resource area.
Click the resource page. There used to be this card that you could scan. Who the fuck knows where it is in the world at this point?
Dude, you know what though? Watch, someone's gonna find it, and we're gonna blow up in Australia.
That'd be so sick.
And we're gonna relocate.
I can't wait. Can't wait. But until then.
Yeah. In the meantime,
we love you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.